Good morning, dear friends. Today the topic for our discussion is the treatment or the taxability of leave salary under the head income from salary. As you know that an employee gets various types of leaves while in service. Some of the leaves are availed by him, and some of the leaves may get lapsed also, or if the employer allows him to accumulate the leaves, then he may accumulate also, or if that facility is there, then the employee may encash the unavailed leaves during the year. So we can say the various options or various possibilities which may exist in an organization for an employee. It means the first option may be leaves availed by him. Means all leaves are availed by him. Number two options, if all the leaves are not availed by him, then some of the leaves, means unavailed leaves may go lapsed, or if the facility has been provided by the employer to the employee for accumulating the leaves, for accumulating the unavailed leaves, or he may also provide the facility for encashment of leave to the employee. If that is so, then it means some of the leaves may be encashed during the year and others may be get accumulated. That may be situation. It means the leaves may be availed of by him. Number one, that is the situation. The second situation may be if the terms of employment do not provide for the accumulation of the leave, then the unavailed leaves may get lapsed. If the terms of employment provide for the accumulation of leave or for the encashment of leave which have not been availed by him, then he may encash it also. So today we will just try to understand the tax provision in respect of the encashment of the leave while in service and the encashment of accumulated leave at the time of the retirement or the superannuation or the resignation or otherwise the death of the employee. So what are the various provisions of the Income Tax Act for this leave salary? First of all, we'll just try to understand the encashment of leave during the tenure of service. Means if during the tenure of service any employee is encashing the leave, then the amount of such leave encashment shall be taxable in the previous year in which he has encashed the leave, and that is applicable in respect of all types of employees. So it means that would be added to his total gross income. It means that would be added to his salary income. So that is encashable of leave during the tenure of service, that is taxable, chargeable to tax in respect of all the employees. Second position is the encashment of accumulated leave at the time of retirement. Here the employees can be divided into two categories. Number one, government employees, and number two, they are the other employees. Here the government employees means the central government employees or the state government employees. If there is encashment of accumulated leave at the time of retirement or at the time of superannuation or death, then the such encashment is totally exempt under the first category, that is in the hands of the government employees. It means that particular leave the amount shall not be subject to any tax. The second category is other employees. Here in this case, where an employee does not fall in first category, that is an employee is not a government employee, then what is what are the provisions of the tax in respect of its taxability with regard to the accumulation of accumulated leave? In this case, the least of the following shall be exempt. It means in the first case we learned that if an employee happens to be a government employee, then nothing is taxable in his hands as far as the encashment of accumulated leave at the time of death, retirement, superannuation is concerned. But however, in respect of other employees, the least of the following shall be exempted at the time of retirement or superannuation. Number 1, actual leave salary received. It means least of the following. If the amount which is the minimum amount among all these 4 options, that would be exempted. The first option is the actual leave salary received by the employee. Number 2, the amount specified by the government, which is as present is rupees 3 lakh. Number 3, 10 months average salary. It means the average salary will be calculated, and this average salary would be based on the average of the salary drawn by the employee during a period of 10 months preceding his retirement or superannuation, and that would be multiplied by 10. It means the amount would be 10 months average salary, and the last is the average salary into the total number of leaves that is credit. So the least of the following amount shall be exempted under the Income Tax Act in respect of employees who do not fall under the first category, that is government employees. So these provisions are meant for other employees. However, we'll just try to learn it by example. But remember it, these are the 4 conditions, these are the 4 options, and the minimum amount or the least amount that is exempted. Now the question arises, what exactly, how that when the leave at credit is calculated. The leave at credit is calculated like that, means leave entitlement. What is the entitlement of leave? That is more important. Less the number of leaves availed, and less the number of leaves encashed during entire service. Here, one thing is very important as per the provisions of Income Tax Act. While computing the leave encashment, the maximum leave which is allowed shall be 30 days for each completed year of service. It means the maximum number of days for which the leave is allowed is 30 days for each completed year of service, and the fraction of a part of the year, that is not to be taken into account. It means if a person has, for example, we can explain this concept, and I would like to have your attention here. If a person has worked for, say, Mr. A, he has worked in ABC Limited for 20 years and 7 months, and he was entitled for 40 days leave for each of the completed year of service. It means he has completed 20 years and 7 months of service, and he was entitled for 40 days of leave for each year of completed service. It means during the service, as per the terms of employment, he was entitled for 40 days of leave in a year. Now, assuming that he has taken a leave for, say, 100 days, he has availed a leave for 100 days, and he has taken the encashment of say 150 days during his entire service, then how would we calculate the encashment of leave as far as the exemption is concerned? So here, in fact, the total entitlement of the leave in this case would be, what exactly is entitled as per the terms of the contract, as per the terms of employment. The entitlement would be, as per his terms, 20 into 40, it means 800 days as per the terms of employment. And during the service, he was entitled for 800 days. It means this 7 months period that should be ignored. It means he will not be earning any leave for this period of service, he has rendered. So his entitlement as per the terms of employment would be 800 days, and he has availed the leave of minus availed 100 days, and minus he has taken the leave encashment during the service is 150 days. So total 250 days, and if you just deduct 250 days from 800 days, so he may be getting the encashment of 500 days leave from his employer. But this is the entitlement which he will be entitled to get from his employer. But as per the Income Tax Act, as per the provisions of the Income Tax Act, the encashment of leave, first of all, this 40 years would be denied by the Income Tax Act. Here we will be just taking, as per the provision of the income tax, the leave entitlement would be, leave entitlement shall be 30 days into 20 years of service, it means 600 days. That is the leave entitlement. Minus availed by him during his service are 100 days. Minus encashed by him 150 days. Total would be 250 days, and balance 350 days. He would be eligible for the encashment of 350 days, and his exemption of leave encashment shall be reckoned based on these 4 options. It means leave salary received, but actually leave salary he has received, or the amount specified by the government 3 lakh rupees, or 10 months average salary, and the last point is this point, average salary into leave at credit. It means the leave at credit would be reckoned with respect to the entitlement, which is as per income tax means 30 days leave would be entitled for each year of completed service. So this is the way by which we can calculate the exemption of the encashment of leave at the time of superannuation or retirement or otherwise. We can also try to learn this concept by an example. Here the salary means always for the purpose of calculating the leave encashment. The salary includes the basic pay. It includes the basic pay plus DA. DA is to be taken into account only to the extent it is provided for in the terms of employment for retirement benefits purposes, and it also includes the commission, which is based on the fixed percentage of turnover achieved by the employee. But it does not include other allowances and perquisites. Basic pay plus DA, but does not include other allowances and perquisites. However, it shall include the commission, which is based on the fixed percentage of turnover achieved by the employee. Thank you very much.